First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Ha, Rakah Kodash, Mama. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharawan, Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Atwafim, and children, Bunyam, that believe in truth and sincerity. It's your brother, I thank y'all. Back to you another lesson, and your Haratazah is edifying. And just with the talks of Iran, I know our elder did a lesson on it this morning pertaining to Israel missile attacks back at Iran and their response, their retaliation, and pretty much how this is ultimately, going to lead America into the third nuclear war. All right, Israel's doings, that is, right? Because America is ultimately going to go to bat for Israel, the 40 fakers, the 48ers. And I want to go over this article as it reads, was Iran's attack on Israel Bible prophecy? And this from a couple months ago, earlier this year. All right. But one of the points I wanted to get, this, as you can see, it says end time events. Let me give you just a quick flyover of end time events chronologically. All right. And this is how the heathen, they're dismayed at the signs of heaven. All right. It's Jeremiah chapter 10. Not only due to the customs that they keep as far as these folly days and things like that, but just their understanding of prophecy in general. They'll worship the moon itself other than the God who created it, right? But it says end time events. Number one, I think the next event of the prophetic calendar is a rapture of the church, which there's never going to be no rapture. All right. When those missiles hit, the beam me up Scotty, the elect standing on the sea of glass it's not a rapture. All right. The Lord don't have to pause an event. He can do what he want ultimately. All right. But there's no going to be no rapture. All right. To where, these false doctrines and what these people teach, in these different denominations, so on and so forth, man, they talk about the rapture and, everybody being bottled up into heaven until the destruction is over with. And then it's a time period of the Antichrist being on the scene and so on and so forth. Now, everything is going to happen as far as the Antichrist is already on the scene with these these philosophies. The wine that's raging throughout the four corners of the earth, beginning with the ambassador of the heathen being Esau, Edom, the so-called Caucasian race. All right, they're the Antichrist. Anybody that's against the truth, as we're giving it to the people, as the Lord gave us the unction to give it to the people, to feed the people the proper provender when it comes to the prophetic timeline of the events of what's to come, the MOTB being made mandatory pertaining to Revelation chapter 13, 15 on down, verses 15 on down. That has to be made mandatory. All right. Again, the third nuclear war. All right. That's ultimately going to happen to denuclearize. The Lord is going to denuclearize the earth through these ICBMs, these missiles. And they ultimately prophesied, according to the book of Revelations, to land into America. Majority of them, 200,000 thousands, meaning 200 million missiles. All right. So there's no rapture. All right. The salvation in that is through what the government call a UFO. All right. An area phenomenon, which are the chariots of the Lord. That's going to do the beaming up of the elect, those who are going to be scarcely saved from the said perils. All right. This is the things that they don't want the people to know. All right. But they hold government meetings, summit meetings pertaining to these events, pertaining to the area UAPs, the area phenomenons. All right. The government called, the Navy and different fractions of the military to come out with whatever documents that they had in the vault, so to speak, pertaining to UFOs. All right. Because they know that those angels are tall, so-called black men. But it says here, Then the Antichrist emerges on the scene and the tribulation period begins. Again, we just debunked that roughly. The tribulation ends with the second coming of Yahushua, and then the Lord established the millennium, the 1,000-year reign of Yahushua Mashiach. Now, the 1,000-year period is us rebuilding the kingdom. All right, after New Jerusalem is brought down from the Sea of Glass, after destruction. All right. And after that, Esau will be eradicated off of the earth. All right, pertaining to Obadiah chapter 1 and 18. All right, you go into the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary when it talks on Edom. Edom is the only nation, all right, which is descendant of Esau that has no form of repentance, no mercy. But it says, was the attack of Iran on Israel biblical prophecy? All right, so they said what? I do believe the attack on Iran on Israel was a fulfillment of Bible prophecy, a sign of the end times, according to scripture. Is the Jewish people will be gathered together in their homeland. Right, and they're already there. All right, that has happened on May 14th, 1948. And that's what they're trying to say, that the people over there today are the people when they're not. One of the scriptures I want to start off with is the book of Revelations chapter 2 and 9 or 3 and 9, where the Lord clearly states that those who say they are Jews are not, but worship in the synagogue of Satan. Now it's referred to 2/3 of our own people, but we use it to what? The fake ones. All right, the 48ers, as they're posing to be the people and they're not, after a Balfour Declaration and running into that homeland after the Holocaust in 1948, writing a letter to one of the Rothschilds, the Bank of England, basically, to pose as the people to receive resources throughout the four corners of the earth, and mainly America. And this left America, all right, country like America, that America has raped, robbed, and murdered throughout the four corners of the earth for nations like Israel and Britain. Ultimately for the nation of Edom, all right? But this is Revelations chapter 2 and 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Right. So they're the synagogue of Satan. They even call their churches the synagogue today. All right. They're not the Jews. They're not the true people. Again, they ran into that land through the Balfour Declaration in 1948. All right. Posing to be the people after the Holocaust. All right. In the midst of World War II. But Revelations 11 and 14 states the second woe has passed and the third woe coming quickly. This is Revelations chapter 3 and verse 9, and reiterates the same thing. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Right. So the Lord loved the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. He has not done so with any nation as far as dealt with them, as he dealt with the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, so the 40 fakers, the 48ers over there are not the people, so it hasn't happened technically, as Israel is a people before it's a place. But it says here in the article, Israel officially became a nation, and you might say the prophetic time clock began to tick. That was not just a sign, that was a super sign. All right, and that's just all a lie. All right, again, Israel is a people before it's a place. All right, the true Israelites has been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. They're not in that homeland, and that doesn't necessarily declare the prophetic clock is ticking, being that they are over there, even though it is ticking. So they're right in a sense, but they're wrong pertaining to the reason why. All right. My next scripture I wanted to go to is the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 1. All right, to further more in depth and go and explain that and the reason why. So this is the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, right, in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, right, his holy government. And again, Zion is a people before it's a place. And that's what we do here today. We blow ye the trumpet. We sound off that alarm to our people. All right, whether they hear or forbear at the water, whether they hear or forbear, all right, so they can get a hold of this truth, and they can have some form of understanding pertaining to prophecy and how the Lord is doing things. All right, no man know the day or the hour, but according to prophecy, we can line things up. All right, we can know that, we can look up and see that our redemption draweth nigh pertaining to salvation due to the prophetic climate, the prophetic weather. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. This is verse 2. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Right. All right, this is gonna be the war of Armageddon, Armageddon, the end of all wars. All right, to where war is not the people is not gonna study war anymore after the Lord denuclearized the earth this third time. Say verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. So this is back in Joel chapter 2 and verse 3, Salakia. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Right, so the Lord say, what if it already be kindled? All right, this place is going to be on hot. It's going to be hot. It's going to be inflamed even before the Lord come and do even more of a destruction and put this place on fire. All right. It says the land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Nobody's going to escape this judgment. All right, when the Lord send that nuclear blast. All right, that nuclear storm. That radiated sandstorm of fervent heat, of fire and brimstone. It says here in Joel chapter 2 and verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, right? And this is speaking on the missiles. And as a horseman, so shall they run, right? And horse represent power, all right? And that's ultimately how they go run their ranks. Verse 5, like the noise of chariots on the top of the mountain shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array, right? So this is how the Lord ultimately said it, all right, for the people to go from ancient warring of swords, all right, to the musket, all right, sword and shield, to the musket of powdered guns, to guns itself, World War II, all right, semi-automatic, the fully auto, to the day where you had the scientists split the atom, all right, to where now you have nuclear war, all right, a coward's war, to where they go shoot missile from continent to continent, all right, from the eye view of the Lord. That's it, skipping and leaping from mountain to mountain, as the scripture is speaking on parabolically. It's back in Joel chapter 2 and verse 6. Before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Right. So they not gonna miss their ranks. All right. Even where the scriptures speak on how the Lord's sword shall be bathed in heaven. All right. That's why you got everything digital is being set up. All right. The satellites is being thrown up into the Shemayim's, the heavens, because that's ultimately how the missiles go be operated. That's how they're gonna be ran through. All right, through the satellites. And they're not going to miss their ranks. They're going to ultimately hit what they were designed to hit. There's not going to be any confusions pertaining to the Lord's majesty, his works, and how he's going to annihilate this place, right? In this Joel chapter 2 and verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, and heaven shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, man. So that's the judgment the Lord is bringing for touching the apple of his eye, all right, for the iniquity that's been done throughout the four corners of the earth, even pertaining to 2/3 of his own people, All right, but it's ultimately going to return back the captivity of his people. All right, having the nations in array and at war with each other, ultimately bringing back the captivity of the nation of Israel. Shalom. So this is Isaiah chapter 13. Shalom. So this is Isaiah chapter 13, and I'll start at verse 9 and get to the point. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. All right. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Right, because of their pride, the cities are troubled. All right, and even 2/3 of our people who live up under a rock, all right, uplift this place of folly, of confusion, Babylon. They're going to be dealt with that same judgment when it comes. All right. This verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man more than wedge of old fare. But that was the point, all right? It's going to be dark and gloomy on the day of the Lord. The Lord is coming cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to destroy the sinners thereof. Those who think it's going to be a rapture, so on and so forth, all right? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38. And I'll start at verse 1, all right, because that's ultimately what the article started to go into. As you can see, the next title, so to speak, in bold, it says, will this lead to Ezekiel 38? But it's not for those 40 fakers' sake, it's for the Lord's will, and for his children's sake, for the nation of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as Israel is a people before it's a place. He's go cleanse that lands and get those fake 40 fakers up out of there. Before I get Ezekiel 38, I want to get Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 6. Because the Lord told us that it was going to be imposters over there. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything written in the scriptures. This is Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines, man. So that's what the Lord is doing. All right. That's why they in battle. They fighting over a land that belongs to neither one of them. As the president of Egypt back in like 1950, roughly paraphrasing, stated that the Jews left black and came back white, and there was never going to be peace in the Middle East. So 1948 was fraudulent. All right. And again, in Zechariah chapter 9 and 6, in verse 6, the Lord forewarned us that it was going to be a bastard dwelling in Ashdod because of our doings, because of our disobeying of the law that was given to us by way of Moses. All right. So we're the people ultimately. But this is Ezekiel chapter 38. And I'll start at verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. All right, so we just set our face against Russia. All right, but prophesy against them, letting them know. Verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, behold, I am against thee. So we letting them know that the Lord is against them, but he's with them to a certain extent. O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right, so the Lord is gathering up the adversary, the contender against this whore, this infrastructure of the beast-like system, the NATO and the EU. All right, Jerusalem, the fake 40 fakers over there in Jerusalem, England, and America, ultimately. All right, that dragon, all right, that whore, that the whore sit up on, that sit up, this whore America sit up on. All right, he's created an adversary, these BRICS-like nations known today: Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, Syria, Saudi Arabia. All right, but Russia is their forerunner, pertaining to Ezekiel 38, Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, Turkey and all that region, Istanbul. This verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, which is Iran today, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. All right, so Persia is written, all right, as Persia changed its name to Iran in like 1950s. So it's not even, Iran it means Persia in their language. All right, so it's all, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, man. It's in the scriptures, it's in the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, according to prophecy. All right, or what's taking place right now throughout the four corners of the earth. I want to jump from there to go to Joel chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 7 and get to the point, and Yahweh Ratazah's lesson was edifying. And this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And that's the point I wanted to get in verse 7. All right, it's showing you that he's doing this for the nation of Israel's sake. All right, for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, where you have sold them. All right, the hell with those 40 fakers over there in that land. They're not the people. The Lord ain't doing it for them. He's doing it for the nation of Israel, who've been despised in this society, who've been written in the Constitution as 3/5 of a man, who've been forgotten when it comes to the people, the children of men. This is back in Joel chapter 3 and verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right, so that's what's being done. The Lord is bringing these nations in a battle of array, all right, ultimately to amount to the third nuclear war, to bring America to the valley of Kidron, Yahweh Shaphat, the Lord's judgment, so he can plead with them for the nation of Israel's sake, as Israel, again, is a people before it's a place. This verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right, and that's what they've done. All right, from the Cold War all the way up to now, to where it's a hot war. All right, the Cold War never really ended, to where now these third world countries, or once was a third world countries, are prepared for war. All right, as America, they never really took poverty lightly. They've been that quote unquote posing as this golden rich city, but really they're broke. They're really the third world country. All right, lacking a missile defense system, so on and so forth. All right, it shows you that they didn't take their money for agriculture and things like that for war. All right, while these other countries did. All right, from World War II leading up to now. This verse 11, Joel 3 and 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, Salaki. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Right, that gloomy day again of destruction. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. Right. And again, Israel is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. The Seminole Indians, and those are the speckled bird who may look like the other nations, but bear the same spirit as such. All right, by way of their father, the seed line of their fathers. All right, is those 40 fakers over there today and dressed in all black with their top hats are not the people. So the Lord ain't doing it for their sakes, but he's doing it for those who've been scattered. Again, going to Joel 3 and 7, where it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. That's what the Lord is doing. All right, ain't no rapture, and it ain't for those 48 fakers over there. All right, that wrote a Belfort Declaration, but it's for you jakes over here that's being hoodwinked and bamboozled. All right, but those who listening and learning, we in the know. All right, so we have to keep this truth. All right, teach it. All right, and watch. All right, watch. Shalom, Habatah, and DTA. Until the next one.